The Biden administration has yet to call it a crisis, but the Homeland Security Secretary admitted this morning, quote, "We are on pace to encounter more individuals on the southwest border than we have in the past 20 years. Sarah Sanders served as White House press secretary for President Trump and is now running for governor in Arkansas. Congratulations on your run. Good to see you, Sarah. So important to get your perspective on this, because you would have been the last press secretary for a White House to deal with something that looks like what we're dealing with, but I've heard even you say it's not the same. How?
Well, let's look at the situation. Certainly, I think the media served as the propaganda arm for the Biden campaign, and they're doing the exact same thing in the administration. They continue to prop up the Biden administration. They're not holding them accountable. The facts are clear. When President Trump instituted the Remain in Mexico policy and put up a border wall, it was effective and it worked. President Biden's administration has actually caused a humanitarian and national crisis at our border by opening them up at a time when Democrats are fighting to keep our schools, our businesses, and our churches closed. They're completely opening our border. It's a total disgrace. The bottom line is, when you open the borders and you invite people to come here illegally, they do. And that's exactly what we're seeing happen on our southern border, and people are flooding in. We do not have the ability or the capacity to handle it, and it is creating a massive humanitarian and national crisis at the border, and that's a direct result of the Biden administration's failure to deal with it and certainly allow it to continue.
I want to get to this so we can watch it together. Current White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki yesterday was asked if there was a border disaster given Biden having called FEMA to deal with the migrants. Let's watch.
The last administration left us a dismantled and unworkable system, and like any other problem, we are going to do everything we can to solve it. I know that we always get into the fun of labels around here, but I would say our focus is on solutions. This is a big challenge, and it certainly is a reflection of using every lever of the federal government to help address that.
Sarah Sanders, what's your reaction to Jen Psaki?
Look, she's certainly entitled to her own opinion, but she's not entitled to her own facts. The Trump administration's policy, specifically the Remain in Mexico policy and the border wall and other measures that the Trump administration put into place, were working at securing our border. Look, we want people to come into this country, but we want them to do so legally and through the correct process. They not only opened our borders, but they encouraged people to come to our country, again, at a time when they're shutting the rest of the country down. They're opening up our border. They created this problem by their failure to understand the situation at the border, and they're continuing to make it worse by not addressing it. They have complete and total failure right now at the border, and I think Kevin McCarthy is exactly right. If they want to deal with some of the crisis going on in this country, it's to go down there, look these people in the eye, and understand the crisis and the problem that they have caused and they have created in our southern states and at our southern border.
Do you think that the Biden people are going to get harassed like you did? Because I remember you were in a restaurant with your family. This was going on, just to remind everybody, and you're good-spirited about it, but it was worrisome. Do you think that's going to happen for the Biden administration?
Frankly, I hope not. That's not who we are as a country. I didn't like it when it happened to me, and I certainly don't want to see that happen to somebody else. But I do want to see them held accountable. I want to see the media ask them hard questions, and I want to see them address the problem and fix it. I don't wish what happened to me on even my worst enemy. In fact, I think that's the opposite of how we should deal with something. But I do want them to address the problem. I want them to recognize that it exists, which I think is something they have failed to do so far, and I want them to take steps to fix it, and I want the media to continue to ask hard questions and hold them accountable until they do it.
I want the president to start talking to the media. That would help do all those things that you just mentioned. Can we get person one to answer question one? All right, we'll move to this. President Biden is touring America today, celebrating his massive spending legislation, but he has yet to face the music with reporters in a solo news conference. And Sarah, I was just mentioning, and here's the day count, 55 days. Biden's apparent unwillingness to take on the press comes as some Democrats are reportedly frustrated with his response within their own party to the border disaster. The Washington Post put it this way, quote, centrist Democrats are nervous about attacks casting them as soft on border security. Liberals and immigration activists are sounding alarms about how migrants are treated. And so far, no date has been set by the White House after the promise that we would get that solo news conference with the president by the end of this month. Sarah.
Look, it's not surprising. President Biden does not have a great story to tell right now. His administration has allowed the border crisis to flourish, creating a humanitarian and national security crisis. They also have slammed this legislation through, and they do not have a good ability to defend what they've done. Certainly, I think all Americans and those Republicans in Congress want to see relief provided where it is needed, but only 9% of that legislation actually deals with COVID relief. The other 91% is a liberal agenda that they are masking in COVID relief, and they do not have the ability to defend that. I think that's why you don't see President Biden coming out and answering questions. It's either that he doesn't know how or he doesn't have a good story to tell. And I think that's why you can continue to see him in hiding, and the media is sitting back and allowing it to happen. They would never have allowed President Trump to go this long without answering questions. Donald Trump was the most accessible president in history. He took questions almost daily, and the press held him accountable to that. They need to take the same standard with President Biden and make him answer hard questions.
Yeah, we'll see what it takes to get that done. My list grows longer every day, so we need to get started. Okay, Sarah Sanders, good to see you. Thank you, and again, congrats
Great to see
on
you.
your
Thanks,
run
Harris.
for governor of Arkansas. Absolutely.